This is Jesse V. Johnson, and I'm checking out Channel Fight at the screening of The Debt Collector.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Montero, and I'm here with the man of the hour, Jesse V. Johnson. We're here at the screening of The Debt Collector in Santa Monica, California. Great film, sir.
Thank you very much, Eddie. Thank you for coming out, and thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me, sir. It is an honor. Tell us about the film. It was just a great, fun film, and it was funny. It was action-packed.
Well, it's a film about two very, very desperate characters who try to make the very best of their sort of grim situation. They're debt collectors, and we follow them throughout their sort of progress to the point of going on a job that they really don't feel that they can stomach. And I don't think I should tell too much more beyond that because I'll give it away. But along the way, they get to throw a few punches and a few kicks and defend themselves from some pretty, I'd like to think, varied and sort of interesting adversaries. You know.
Yes, sir.
We've got the Duff brothers in there, who are a couple of 6'10" ex-football players that I've worked with on. I worked with them first on Spider-Man, then we worked on Thor together as well. And these guys are just incredible physical specimens in terms of fight scenes and choreography. So it was really fun to bring them in and put them up against Scott Adkins in a very small space, so they get to wreck that. Rob Mars, who's a stuntman I worked with a few times, does some really, really tremendous fight work in a. This guy's going to go past you here in a bar, which I think is quite a fun scene as well. So I think we've got some really good stuff here for your fight fans.
Yes, sir. And you've worked with Scott Adkins in many movies now. Triple Threat. You worked with him on Accident Man, Savage Dog, and now The Debt Collector. I keep wanting to say The Pay Up, but The Debt Collector. Yes, sir. And how is that chemistry going? Like, you guys are working well together.
I love Scott. I have an immense amount of respect for him. He's possibly one of the most disciplined and dedicated craftsmen that I know, but he also manages to blend craft with art and come up with stuff that's just really, really interesting for me. You know, as a director, you are at the mercy of your cast, and when you see them doing things which are just brilliant, it's your job to sort of stay back and let them do what they want, and within the realms of the script. And he's fantastic. I'm just really, really pleased with what he's been doing. We've known each other a long, long time, since we were both stunt guys. We worked together on a picture called Savage Dog, which was a very, very ambitious film, which we worked very hard on. I'll go back and watch it at some point in my career and be happy with it, but at this point there's too many holes in the fabric to enjoy it. But that film was extraordinarily successful financially. We're not quite sure how it happened, but the film had already made 3 times its budget before we'd actually finished it, and on the basis of the cast and the trailer that came off it, and then continued to do very, very good business. So we got another picture going quite quickly called Accident Man, which we shot in England, which was a passion project of Scott's, which he'd written, and we're very, very happy with that. Flew to Thailand, where I was hired to direct a film with Iko Uwais, Tony Jaa, and Tiger Chen, which was a really, really incredible sort of opportunity. And I just felt that we've got these 3 incredible martial artists. We should put some bad guys up against them who could carry their weight. So we brought in Scott to play the lead bad guy, and boy, oh boy, does he make a good bad guy. And Michael J. White and Mike Bisping are in there. So it's really that's a really fun one. We all sort of rather had quite a lot of fun in a nice 5-star hotel in Bangkok, and just being able to make the best possible film with a lot of time. And then we came back and did this one, which was obligation we'd been putting off, and it was lower budget, but something magical happened when we were casting this, and between Scott and Lewis and Vladimir Kulich and this incredible sort of cast of characters that sweat and ooze and sort of stench of LA. Hopefully it makes you want to shower. I watched the film on the big screen for the first time tonight, and honestly, you want to shower afterwards. There's so much sort of decay and nastiness going on. So I hope people really enjoy it.
Well, I enjoyed it. It was funny from the onset. The music, as soon as the music came on in the opening credits, it was rock and roll. The crowd was cheering. It was a great experience.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, I thought it was a serious script. Somewhere along the line it became funny. I'm not sure what happened there.
It was funny. It was very entertaining. It was everything. It was funny, and they were serious, but it was still funny without them.
Yeah.
overdoing it, trying to be funny. It just was funny.
They're brilliant. I think when you work a really grim job like this, you have to have a sense of pathos, or you go home and slash your wrists. You know, if you are a debt collector or someone who works at a abattoir or you know, crematorium, you find these guys have this incredible dark sense of humor, which is how they survive internally. Or you talk to soldiers that are on multiple tours of combat, or surgeons or ambulance drivers. They deal with what they do with a sense of humor, and it's a grim sense of humor that you have to be indoctrinated to, or you watch it in a movie and you can appreciate it. But it's absolutely imperative for this movie. Otherwise, the film it would be too much. You would not want to watch it. It would be awful. You know?
And lastly, I don't want to take up too much of your time, sir. There's a lot of young people coming up in all over the country, especially now that the technology for making movies is much more available. What advice would you give a young director that wants to direct? What's one piece of advice that you would give them?
I would say keep directing, making movies, writing. Get your friends to read your writing. Get people that don't particularly have any vested interest in complimenting you to read your writing, and learn from the criticism and commit. Once you've managed to get everything right, don't go off half-cocked. You know, understand about preparation and you know, when you make that first movie, get as many people to see it as possible, and really, really learn what it was that didn't work, what it was that did work, and build each time in a constructive manner. For me, I didn't go to film school. I made movies to learn to make movies, and I now have a daughter who wants to become a filmmaker, and I'm encouraging her to go to film school because I feel that's your permission to fail at film school. When you come out in the world, I was very lucky that I got opportunity after opportunity. My first film made a lot of money. It was a low budget film, but it made a lot of money, and it afforded me to get the next one. Looking back, I realized I could have gone either way very, very easily. And I think film school is the place, or any kind of safe environment where you can make a film and it's not your career doesn't rest upon the success of that film. If you can do that 2 or 3 times before you commit to that first one, you're in a much better position. It's very, very difficult, and when you do make a film that's not good, they tend to follow you around. I've got a score of them now, and there's nothing you can do about it. But people look on the IMDb and they see this and they judge you against that, but they don't realize that you're growing each time.
Yes, sir.
But that's not how the common conception goes. They say, why did you make that film you made 15 years ago? And you're like, at the time I needed money to pay the rent.
Oh, yes, sir. And there's a development. You're developing as a.
Yeah, my advice would be go to film school and have that permission to fail for a few years, learn your craft, and then get out and make that wonderful movie. But just keep making movies, you know.
Oh, that's so good, sir. Thank you for your time. Thank you for having us here. It is an honor. Thank you so much. Jesse V. Johnson, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Edward.